Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
B is a motion to elect chairperson and vice chairperson, currently the mayor and the mayor pro tem.
Move to keep B.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item C is a motion on appointment by chairperson of the investigating committee and such other officers as the board may decide as provided by Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 2019, Chapter 28, Article 2, Section 28 to 27. Currently the city manager, city clerk, and planning director.
Move to retain same.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Any other matters to come? Yeah.
You hearing me all right, John?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's fine.
All right.
Do it out, bro. Okay. He is,
We need a motion to adjourn.
yeah, call a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Adjourn. Now we'll go on to the regular meeting. I'll open the January 17th, 2022 City Council meeting. Roll call.
John Hawkins.
Here.
Megan McFarland. Here. Matt McKinney. Brian Miller.
Here.
Logan Welch.
Here.
Call for motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approved. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, 2 minutes. Citizens communications request. This is the time of the meeting that a citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in case of emergency, the city council may take any action at this meeting, but may ask city staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for future meetings. Anyone have anything? No.
I just want to thank the road crews and, I think I'll probably thank the mine department either for the power outage all back. The road crews did a great job. And
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get 12 inches again this year in one day. Okay. Item 2, minutes and claims. Following items have been deemed non-controversial, routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or member of the audience wishes to have an item removed from this list, we will consider its normal sequence on the agenda. I have 8 minutes of January 3rd. B is a resolution on payroll and a period for the period ending January 1st and paid on January 7th. C is a resolution on bills and the fund list.
I move to approve A, B, and C collectively.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, item 3 is general agenda. First thing up is presentation by Williams and Company PC on the 2020 and 2021 City of Webster City, Iowa audit. Justin, here with us.
All right, can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. Does everyone see the audit report.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Justin Jacobsmo with Williams & Company. And we conducted the FY21 audit. And I want to start on page 5. One thing before I get going, this will be high level. I won't dive into the details of everything, but if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask or get a hold of me after the meeting, and I'll do my best to answer them. But first thing is there was an unmodified opinion issued on the city of Webster City's financial statements. So that's a good thing. You know, here we're saying, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the respective financial position of the governmental activities of business type and the aggregate discretely presented component units. So an unmodified opinion was issued. That's what you want. I'm going to jump ahead to page 20. This is the balance sheet for the governmental funds. Just want to point out at the fund level that there was around $22 million of assets, and then $5.3 million of liabilities. Then there was deferred inflows of 4.6 to get then to your fund balance of around $12 million. Then I'm going to move ahead, talk about a few things on the statement of revenues and expenditures. I do want to point out that the city of Webster City issued around $10 million of new debt, and about half of that was used for Second Street Reconstruction Project Fund. And then the other half was used to refund some old debt. And then the net change in fund balance for the governmental funds was an increase of around $978,000. You can see the general fund here. General fund revenue was 3.4 million. You know, of that amount, a significant portion is coming from property taxes. Any questions at this point? Then this is the statement of revenues and expenditures and changes in net position for the enterprise funds. I want to just go over real quick the operating income. So that's before non-operating stuff. The water had, was about even. The sewer system had a small profit of $121,000. Then you can see the electric fund also had a profit. So in total, the operating profit was around $200,000 for the business type funds for FY21. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, I'm going to skip through the notes here, the financials. This is the budget to actual. And I do want to point out that in this capital projects fund and in the debt service fund, that actual expenditures exceeded what was budgeted. So you want to make sure you try to amend the budget, before you exceed what you're budgeting for there. Then I want to jump back to page 109. This is just a summary of the audit results. We did note a material weakness in internal control over financial reporting. So when we have to propose a journal entry, we're gonna have a control finding.
Yeah.
Give me one sec. Yeah, Councilor Welch had a question. Justin is going off of the actual audit report, not the county.
No, I know there's page numbers at the bottom of some of the pages, but they're still not lining up with some of the numbers.
White pages.
Yeah, the numbers are not lining up with your page numbers that are.
I've been going off the PDF page numbers, so that's my fault.
So the red page numbers or the
Scroll down, Justin, scroll down to your page.
99.
yeah, so
Does that work out?
make sure.
We're looking.
Are we good?
A couple of earlier that.
Yeah,
that number both lining up.
Okay, go ahead, Justin.
Okay. Let's see here. And then the city of Webster City had a single audit this year. And that's not something that Webster City has every year. A single audit comes into play when a governmental entity spends federal grant dollars exceeding $750,000 in a year. And so there was some airport grant funding that came in, and that was audited as a major program. We did not have any compliance findings related to that, which is a good thing. We have seen an uptick in single audits or of federal dollars, obviously with COVID. I suspect to see more of that in the future, or even for the next 2 fiscal years, where governmental entities that don't normally get single audit have single audits because of the funding that's out there right now. Then the last thing I want to touch on was there was a state statutory finding, we call it a state finding, and that relates to contributions or donations to nonprofit entities. The Constitution of Iowa, the state of Iowa prohibits governmental bodies from making a gift to a private nonprofit corporation. Article 3, Section 31 of the Constitution of the state of Iowa states, no public money or property shall be appropriated for local or private purposes unless such appropriation, compensation, or claim be allowed by 2/3 of the members elected to each branch of the General Assembly. And there's been, the next paragraph just talks about Attorney General opinions that have talked about this too. Just to give you a little overview here. So I would say at the start of the fiscal year, so in July, the state was putting a lot of information out there just saying, hey, this is a part of the Iowa Constitution where governments should not be contributing to nonprofit entities. Because there's no guarantee that money was used for public purpose. So these were the contributions noted during the fiscal year that the city of Webster City made. And so we have just the state compliance finding related to those items. And it's something you want to evaluate and think about as you move forward here, how to handle this. Obviously those nonprofits, I don't rely could be a strong word, but need and use funding. So again, this is just something I want to point out. This is new, and there was a big push from the state auditor's office to all auditors across the state that, hey, this is something you need to be on the lookout and make sure that governmental entities understand this and are aware that this is in the Constitution of the state of Iowa. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, I don't have anything else. I appreciate everyone's time and letting me do this remotely. I had COVID a few weeks ago and starting to feel much better. But again, I appreciate the city allowing me to do this virtually.
No problem. It's the world we live in at the moment. And fortunately, we're up on this, on our technology a little better than we were a year ago. Easy. Thanks very much.
All right, everyone have a good night.
Call for motion accepting and placing on file the 2020-2021 City of Webster City Audit. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. B, the discussion on donation to nonprofits. As you can see, there's a few on the list. Haven't heard from many of those people. Short on their budgets for the year. Well, let's do it later.
So your letter, your opinion letter, is saying you can as long as it meets certain criteria.
Yeah, I'm not doing a little bit, you can't do it, you can still do it, it's been a discussion that they just, every, all the listers, it's on there quite often, other communities. New, when the state auditor came around, started noting this for different, all communities are adjusting themselves accordingly, so essentially lays out the 7 steps you must take. It all revolves around an agreement, but it's certain, like some of the ones we did last year, really one of them probably doesn't apply. We probably can't, but it doesn't really serve public purpose. Like the Chamber of Commerce, for example, as long as you have an agreement, it still applies because they're obviously serving public purpose, providing tourism and otherwise. Same thing with like IDIS provides transportation services to the community as a whole. Community and resources provide services for counseling, otherwise they're to be used by the community as a whole. So those ones would also be allowed as long as we execute an agreement with them, which I think they're put in there that we're in the process of drafting one, and then we'll provide it, and it can just be used over and over again. The question we're going to run into is when people do ask for funds, that we can pinpoint down exactly what public purpose it's serving and get it in.
Very good. I think there's no decision.
No, you'll just start seeing them. When you start, mainly when you start seeing these agreements come up in the future, you understand where they're coming from.
Okay, thanks, Zach. Item C is the third reading of an ordinance repealing the Code of Ordinances of the City of Webster City, Iowa, 2019, by amending Chapter 40, pertaining to solid waste within the corporate limits of the City of Webster City, Iowa.
This will be the third reading of that ordinance. There's been a few changes that Zach has made after speaking to one of the haulers regarding the size and capacity of the trash, and as well as the limitations on the time or where containers can be placed. So other than that, I believe those changes were made, track changes somewhere. All other previously amended changes are still incorporated in there. Yeah, the big ones were the trash bags we had there before that they couldn't be smaller than 30 gallons. Like I said, they have agreements with different entities to put out these 12-gallon bags. They set up for a monthly service, so they don't have to buy the yellow bag, they can put out their normal black bags or whatever. That covers that one. We had it before that they could not exceed 50 pounds in weight. Yes, they'd be doing 40 because requirements and OSHA requirements say they can't be higher than 40 anyway, so it's more protecting employees from having to lift heavy bags versus RD. The other one was that we say earlier that you can't have anything larger than 100 gallons for like dumpsters or collections or containers. But like if you're doing a remodel or something on your house, they do deliver temporary dumpsters, so we wanted to allow on that as needed basis, but not to exceed like
Can the lease of more than 35 gallon lease bags also?
No, if you still want, we
It shall be more than 35.
Shall not be more than 35 gallons. But not is crossed off, but it should be. Shall be no more than 30. They can't exceed 35 gallon trash bags. Which is larger than the yellow one.
nobody else has got none. So, I don't know. All good. Okay, call for motion.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Call for motion to pass and adopt.
You still there, Brian? Aye. I heard you. Yeah, I did too. Okay,
Can you hear me?
are you still there?
He's on. Come on down. Let's try one. Okay, so call for motion to pass and adopt.
Second.
Okay. All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Item D is a resolution authorising the sale of real estate and approving execution of a warranty deed conveying city-owned property to Brewer Creek Estates, 5th edition, Webster City, Timali Land Company, Goldfield, Iowa.
The sale of a parcel in Wilson Brewer Park, or Wilson Brewer subdivision. The parcel map outlined in the field is the actual parcel being sold.
Call for motion.
So moved.
Second. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Good guess. Opposed, same sign. Approved. Item E is a resolution releasing an option for purchase on city-owned property in Southeast Development Park Number 2, Webster City, Iowa.
This is a parcel of an industrial park just to the east of Vantec, and to the west of the cement plant there. This is where I believe the kennel, is going to be going out. We've talked about this parcel, I think, late last month. There was an existing option for the development group to purchase it that dates back to 2006, if I'm not mistaken. And so this action is just to releasing that option so that the purchase can move forward.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, item F is a request from the street department supervisor to seek bids for purchase of a bulk water station and authorization to purchase if the bid's coming under budget.
How did we plug in your mic?
You can speak loud enough. We want to hear.
Yeah. So currently, what we use for the purchase of bulk water is just from our fire hydrant, which is just a form that contractors or citizens can come and fill out from a meter, which gets turned back into us, which we send here to the gallons to get billed out. Right now, I'd say a majority of it gets billed out. I mean, not to say that some stuff doesn't get overlooked. I think this is the way to the future, more professional, more realistic, moving forward for billing and keeping track of data. think everything nowadays is data-driven, and as far as equipment and production and stuff. So I think with that information, a lot more data moving forward. This is just one example of one of the bulk water stations that I've kind of been researching and talking to, kind of overhead fill and side fill. One of the things with the DNR is you got to have an air gap with the side, with the above fill and the side, you have to have a backflow preventer. So that's the main focus that we need to also keep in mind. Question?
You've also run into issues with the hydrant with contractors not opening, closing them properly, that wears out the.
Correct. So, gosh, good question. Zach would be able to tell me exactly how many hydrants we've actually had to work or replace. Hydrant at our shop, what happens is contractors and citizens don't understand that some hydrants, you have to go till it becomes loose. Tile hydrant, you go till it becomes tight. Some people just don't know that. What that is cause damage to the hydrant. Constantly are working on. It calls out. We get called out, and hey, your hydrant's leaking for that reason. So, yeah, a lot of unnecessary repairs get into a hydrant.
So with that, who knows, my company utilizes that service, too, for getting bulk water. I hope I didn't break the hydrant, but anyway.
No.
So when you do turn it on, like this is like credit card driven, and so when it does turn on, like how do you adjust the flow? Like is there a level depending on, because again, I'm kind of small potatoes compared to like some huge tankers that come utilize and service, so having that manual adjustment is key. So is there an adjustment on?
Yeah, so it's it's going to be a 3-inch line coming off our water main. I did look into a larger size main. Company that I talked to, this is do not go on, will be any bigger than that. 4-inch mains, that's for bigger companies. That's all they do is sell water. As far as that exact question, I'm not really sure. I have to look in and find that out. Because you fill just into a tank.
Yeah, we fill like 100 gallons and then go out and water downtown. Yeah. So I mean, again, like we have to tailor it down a bit just to control the hose and get into where we need to get into.
Right.
I'm sure everybody doesn't want to have a full on hose.
Yeah, and typically your overhead fill, we have your tank, you have a little thing that hangs down there, which I'm sure that's probably what you'd be able to use. It's set up for everything for your bulk semi to get that much water to your everyday citizens. And it brings up a good point. This contractors can use it. We can use this for people trying to fill their pools. Credit card system, everything's done right there. You can also do coins. I don't feel like we want to get into that. I don't want to deal with money and change and all that stuff. So I'd rather just go to the credit card system. Also, bigger companies can get with down at the office and say, hey, here's our credit card number, here's our billing, assign them a PIN number. Take care of it, all the data there. Right. So,
Do you think some of them would be able to set how many gallons you're gonna get?
yes, you can do that.
Just take care of 11 if you're gonna get 200 gallons, you can put 200.
With this type of system, especially with this one, they sell the equipment. So us in the line department would talk to them. They would help us install it. Carol Rock, good point today. Especially need to do some Zoom meetings with some of these contractors or people selling this item. We'll need to make sure it matches up with our software, and that's going to be a big thing, getting with Kirby, making sure everything matches up with our billing and the software and everything like that. That is one thing that we had to think about all the time, but I need to make sure it syncs up with everything we need to do.
Would that would just be to track the revenue? Because if you're doing a credit card transaction, it would essentially just be all done there, but you're just saying pull the data out of it.
Right. Because I was talking to somebody before. I think ID would be surprised on how much water is taken out of that hydrant. I really do.
especially with our yearly sewer contractor. I think they go through more water than we think. The line department is doing more and more borings than we've ever done. Plus you get this year, we've had more people come get water from us than we typically have, which I think is a good thing. But with that being said, it takes a little bit more time out of us to make sure that you get what their needs. So this is kind of just allow them to do their thing without us having to do theirs.
Okay.
Yep.
Call for motion.
Move.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, item G is a resolution authorising the assistant city manager to submit an application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority Downtown Housing Grant Program for the development of two two-bedroom apartments at 637 Second Street, Webster City.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. The item before you is what could potentially be a one-time grant. It's unknown if it'll continue beyond this year. The developer did bring this to our attention at the end of December, so we've been working pretty quickly on getting this before you. But he anticipates a total budget of $263,499.30 for the construction of two two-bedroom apartments above what most people in town would know as the old pet shop, which is at 637 2nd Street. We would need to do a development agreement with the developer in the event that we were awarded. He has agreed to pay the required 25% local match, so the city would not contribute anything financially. The only support he would need is administrative support, because the city does have to be the applying agency for this grant. So that would take my time. I don't anticipate this taking more than 5 hours. Mr. Wright has been great about providing all of the necessary information. So it's just been a lot of copy paste and just proofreading through the information he's been sending. Mr. Wright is on the call in the event that you guys had any questions for him. But I'm just requesting authorization to submit the application.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, solid. I move with please.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Item H is a resolution authorising city manager to sign and execute an engagement letter with PFM Financial Advisors, LLC.
This is piggyback after an agenda item at the previous council meeting, which council approved the letter of engagement with PFM for the municipal advisory role related to the wastewater treatment plant construction and SRF revolving loan fund. After we went through the interview process with them, we realized like the full list of services that PFM offers, and they work with other cities on, including the city of Fort Dodge, in developing financial models on all of the city's funds and budget process, including the general fund as well as the utilities. So it's something that we've been working on and working towards to further enhance our forecasting and our models related to those specific funds. So we're requesting approval to engage with them. We're looking right now roughly about around $10,000 per year. They essentially work with OD and are going to be an extension of the finance office and helping develop and run scenarios and models related to the financial aspects of the city's finances.
Move to approve.
Second. All those in favour say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Item I is amending resolution number 2021-144, establishing fees for services, adding sections establishing fees for speeding violations and other motor vehicle violations.
This was establishing the fees related to speeding citations that currently are cited under the state code, would be cited under the city's code, and the fees mirroring that, the same as the state fee schedule. Will be processed by Zach in his office from now on.
Good group.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. At least on that now, I have to pay my speeding ticket, I'm aiming to the city.
Not the surcharge of court.
Yeah. Okay. Item 4, reports make recommendations of officers, boards and commissions. Item A is the city manager report for the agenda for December. B is an inspection department report for December. C is a police department report for December. D is a nuisance report for December. And E is a fire department report for December.
Move to approve collectively.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Item 5, closed session. Meet in closed session to evaluate the performance of the city manager, which is necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation. And that individual requests a closed session as provided by Chapter 21.5I of the Code of Iowa.
Move to go into close.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. We'll have a 5-minute recess. Thanks everybody for coming.
Daniel, you sending me something or how we doing that?
Yeah, she was on forward.
I'm going.